What is going on, Failroaders? I'm Joshua Thomas, and I'm back to talk about more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Today, we're talking about just some stuff in general, but specifically, the big topic today is going to be weapons. And I'm not talking about like the weapons you see here that they're fighting with. I'm talking about the planet's weapons. For those of you who haven't played Final Fantasy VII the OG, weapons are these giant creatures that are formed by the planet to protect the planet in times of great peril. And they are only activated as a planet's last resort. And they are massive, they are colossal, and they are powerful. In fact, the Junon cannon that you see here, the one of the weapons actually comes out of the water in the OG and is face to face with the cannon, and the cannon shoots it in the face, and it doesn't even, I don't even know if it kills it. I think it just knocks it out and it just lives underwater after that. Correct me if I'm wrong though. But yes, the planet's weapons, we've got Matt Mercer as Vincent. We've got so many interviews talking about such a broad topic, and I haven't had time to make videos about any of this stuff, and I apologize, but next week might change things. But yes, so in one of the latest interviews, which the link will be in the description, the interviewer asks about just the battles, and Nojima, I think it was Nojima, I don't have it in front of me, and I forgot to put it up, but they talk about, what if you could play as a weapon, or fight as a weapon. Let me get that interview up, in fact, because I want to make sure that I don't misquote it. But yes, it was some very enlightening stuff. It was on RPGFan. That's the one. We're going to scroll down to the part where they talk about it. Yeah, it was Hamaguchi. Yeah, so the RPGFan interviewer reads, or asks, as a follow-up to the summon questions, are the summons going to interact differently this time around than in Remake? In Remake, you just summoned them and they fought alongside you, but we saw in FF16 how amazing and spectacular the summons can really get. Do you have any plans to maybe change that system, or is it going to be the same that we saw in Remake? And Hamaguchi said, for Rebirth, there isn't something that is incorporating summons into the main story per se, but with Remake, that was with Rebirth, but with Remake, you may recall that the materia itself did not exactly level up. This time, however, there is growth elements that is kind of different from AP. By playing minigames or progressing through certain content in the story, the summon materia's ability will grow. In that way, there is this sort of growth factor tied to the side content of the game. And then Hamaguchi says, so I have a question for you. You know that in Final Fantasy VII there are those weapon creatures? Yeah, I know that there's those weapon creatures. If we were to introduce them like summons as another kind of entity like creature, do you think that would be too much? Or would you enjoy that? What exactly do they mean as summon type creatures? So they did in fact say that the weapons, the planet was going to be activating the weapons essentially early in Rebirth. According to how things would have gone in the OG, Rebirth would technically end at the Forgotten Capital well before the weapons get activated. Now, a lot of people are theorizing out there that they're going to rearrange stuff so that we go to the Forgotten Capital after the Northern Crater. I don't see that happening. I feel like, you know, they could, yes, change the locations of these places on the map. And yeah, I would be fine with that. I still don't see them. I still don't see us going all the way through the Icicle Inn, snowboarding, going through the Great Glacier. There's a lot of stuff there. And that would add a lot of content to Rebirth. But since they say we're going to the Forgotten Capital, I'm going to assume that all the stuff that happens at the Northern Crater isn't going to happen yet, because there's some important things that need to happen in order, you know, like certain orders, and I feel like they're not going to switch the order up on that yet. But something is going to cause weapons to activate early, and then they might be able to be summoned? Is it possible that we're going to have to face up against a weapon and, like, there it is, yeah. Something, and then I'm going to pause it there, and then there's Matt Mercer. I'm going to pause it right there where we get a good shot of the weapon. Boom, and of course oh, it didn't. Why would you do this? Oh, I paused it. I stopped it instead of pausing it. But yeah, so is it possible that when we come up against these weapons that we somehow gain control of a weapon and are able to fight with it? Or because they talked about Final Fantasy 16, and in 16 you basically take control of these giant colossals, these kaiju if you will, and you frickin' just have this unmerciful battle that potentially could destroy half of the planet or even the whole planet. Now in this case the weapon's job is to protect the planet, so what kind of fights are we going to have here? I still think they're going to be pretty epic, but I don't know. And then controlling them like summons, or you know, having weapon like creatures as summons, would that be too much? What exactly does that mean? It's so confusing. But we see here in this shot, I'll back it up to the mysterious man that we had a video on. Tifa and Red are talking about these weapons activating when the planet is in need. And then Vincent pops out of a coffin, just like in the OG. No. But yeah, so that's interesting stuff. I'm still banking that a weapon could possibly be one of the final bosses that we face. Now, this was, of course, my theory before we found out that the Forgotten Capital was going to be the ending point. But there's still a possibility that they could, I mean, we know that the ending is going to go way off into left field, but perhaps in a good way. And I know that whatever happens at the end, some people are going to be mad about it. And I think most people are going to accept it and be like, whoa, dude, the rest of this game was amazing. You know, Rebirth Remake was fun, and we questioned the end of Remake, but hey, it led into this, so we've got that. And then, of course, there's the big question of, is she gonna live or die? You guys know who I'm talking about. I think, this is what I think, they're gonna go right up to it. They're gonna go right up to that point and make you question it all the way to that final 7 seconds. And they are going to throw something in out of left field. Could it be Nega Cloud? Could it be Zack? Is it going to be Sephiroth? Who stops Sephiroth? I don't, and this is another thing. A lot of people theorize that there's the, Cloud final boss. Cloud as the final boss of the game. I understand that there is evidence that could suggest that Cloud is going to go full psycho and lose control of himself, but I feel like there's the other option, and I can't remember who mentioned this in their video. It might have been Genesis 7 or Sector 6 or someone like that, or Curious Corduroy, you know, Cloud is getting these visions of the future events as well. This, you know, he's getting enough of these visions that he may be able to, by the end of Rebirth, deduce what is going to happen, and he could try to prevent it. He could be the one who tries to prevent it, and maybe this other version of Cloud, maybe he, instead of, you know, turning full evil, sacrifices himself. Once again, yeah, there's evidence in the trailers that suggests that maybe that won't happen, but we don't know. So let me know what you guys think. That's a lot to unpack, and man, this video is already over 10 minutes long. I didn't even think I talked that long about it, but I want to hear your thoughts on the weapons. I want to hear your thoughts on what's going to happen at the end, and, you know, your thoughts on just the summons in general and how you would like to see them portrayed. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, join the Discord in the description, and I'll check you guys next time.